Hi everyone, welcome back to Byte by Riya. Today we are diving into a super cool and very important concept in core Java, constructor overloading. By the end of this video, you will not only understand what is constructor overloading is, but you will also see it in action with a real example. So let's start. Before we jump into the code, let's first understand what is constructor overloading. In Java, constructor overloading means we can have multiple constructors in the same class with the same name but with a different parameters list. Okay. Now let's discuss why do we use it. We are using constructor overloading because sometimes we may want to create objects in different ways. For example, maybe one constructor sets default value and another allow us to pass values during object creation. So let's start to code line by line. First of all, we have to create a a customer class. Okay, a class named customer. So let's create a class named customer. Okay, next what, right? Next what we so why we created this class named customer? Because this everything inside the block defines the structure or blueprint of a customer object. Now next what we have to do is that we have to create three instance variable. Okay, let's create three instance variable called, so private. Why private? Do you know? Because these variables can only be accessed within this class. It's part of encapsulation, which means it will help us to protect our data. That is why private. So private int, it is an integer. I am going to create an ID. So I am putting the variable as CID, ending with an semicolon. Just like that, I have two more, private string cname. Just like that, again private. Next one is also int cnum to store the phone number. Okay, so what we did just right now, we have declared three instance variable here. CID for customer ID, it is an integer, and CName for customer name, it's a string value, and private we made CNum to store customer number, it's an integer. Okay, so why this private? This means these variables can only be accessed within the class. Okay, and it is a part of encapsulation. That means to protect our data. Okay, so private will help you to protect our data. It will not be make visible to all. Yeah, next what we have to do is that we have to create a default constructor. That means it does not take in any parameters. So let's create a default parameter. It should be public. We created the class customer. You have to use a parenthesis. In that, what we are going to do is that we are assigning value. So when we create an customer object without passing any value, this constructor runs and gives the object default value. Okay, so think of it as a no point default output constructor. So we have to give CID equal to 1, CName equal to a name. I'm giving here an Arjun. and cnum in number. Okay, here I made it as capital, so it should be small. Cnum equal to 1 2. Let's make it as alright. So it's a very big number, so I made it as a long itself. Now next what we have to do is that we have to create the customer that accepts parameter, so we can customize the value when creating the object. So for that what we have to do is that we have to create so next what we have to do is that we have to create a constructor overloading. This constructor accepts parameter, so we can customize the value when creating the object. So public customer, in the parentheses I'm giving integer cid comma string, next string cname next long cnum So notice the line, we have to put this. Okay, I'm putting this. It will calls the default constructor. Why this? It will call the default constructor. Okay, this dot cid equal to cid again this dot cname equal to cname. Similarly, this dot cnum equal to cnum. So why I like, okay, now let's see why I put this. Okay, it will calls the default constructor first. So even when we use this constructor, it still runs the default one before doing anything else. this we assign values assigning this dot cid equal to cid. Why we use this? Because we are telling Java, hey, assign the value from the parameter to the variable inside this class. Next, we have to get the getter method. Okay, we are now we are going to call the getter method. Okay, so let's call the getter method. So how to call the getter method? You have to put public int get id inside it. You have to put, we have to return that, return cid, just like that. Public string get name, get name, return c name, public int get, next one, yeah, cnum, return cnum, here no, it is not in, it is low. Yeah, now what we did, we put a getter method, so they let us access private variables from the outside the class. Each method returns the value of one variable. This is a clean and safe way to access data. Now we have to create the main method that is already created over here. I put class, public class as multiple constructor, then public static void main string dot args. Okay, next what we have to do is that, yeah, we have to, now we have another class. Okay, this is where the execution begins. We can create an object c1 using the overloaded constructor. So id2 by using customer c1 equal to new customer this is how we have to create an object. Okay, I'm giving the next one as 2. Previously I given us 1 and I give there Arjun. Right here I'm giving Riya only. Then the number, it should be 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, some number. Okay, a contact number. I have to put L over there as it's I'm representing as long, otherwise it will give some error. Yeah, Now we are in another class called multiple constructor next, and we put id value as 2, name Riya, and some mobile number. Okay, the contact number I should be long, not integer, because it is so big, right? So I used L at the last. Yeah, now I want to print the value. I just need to print the value. So how to print the value? Yeah, simple. It is, now I'm going to print the value by using system.out.println. System.out.println. In that, how to call I want to print c1 dot get. If you want to put get id, okay, then only it will print that value, just like that. I want to print system.out.println. In that, get name. Next, system dot out system dot out dot println. In that, I want to put c1 dot get num. Here I didn't put that c1. I want to mention c1 dot get name. Alright, so finally we use the getter method to print the value to store in the c1 object. So let's see the output. Oh, some error happened. Yeah, in the get name, here it is not a system dot out dot print get name. Yeah, let's see by running the code. Yeah, can you guess what is the output? Okay, before that, can you tell me what will be the output? Yeah, first of all, it will run and get the first one. Okay, the CID equal to 1 Arjun. Next, it will overload and give the output, that is Riya. Okay, here we put Riya. So the last output will be our the output 2 will that customer ID 2 Riya, and this, because it is overloaded by the first one is overloaded by the second output. Okay, let's see. The final output will be the second one. Let's see. Yeah, here it is, Riya 2 Riya. Let's run again. Yeah, you can see the output. It will give the output to Riya and this number. Okay, because this number, because even though the default constructor run first, the overloaded constructor override those value with the what we passed in. So the constructor overloading, let us control how and with what values an object has been created, neat and right. Yeah, you can see that the output. Now, yeah, congratulations anyway. You just mastered constructor overloading in Java. Now you know how to use multiple constructor to create object with the different data and how this helps connect constructors together. If you found this video helpful, you can like, share, subscribe to Byte by Riya. Alright, so see you in the next time. Keep coding and keep creating. This is Riya signing off. Bye bye.